Exodus. Chapter 28. And bring near to yourself Aaron your brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that he may serve me as a priest. Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory, and for beauty. And you shall speak to all who are wise in heart, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they make Aaron's garments to sanctify him, that he may serve me as a priest. And these are the garments which they shall make, a breastplate and an ephod and a robe and a tunic of checkered work, a turban and a girding sash. So they shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and for his sons, that he may serve me as a priest. They therefore shall take the gold and the blue and the purple and the scarlet strands and the fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue and purple and scarlet strands, and fine twined linen, the work of a skillful workman. It shall have 2 shoulder pieces joined to its 2 edges, so that it may be joined together. And the skillfully woven band, which is on it for its fastening, shall be like it in workmanship, of 1 piece with it, of gold, of blue and purple and scarlet strands and fine twined linen. And you shall take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel. 6 of their names on the 1 stone, and the names of the remaining 6 on the other stone, according to their birth. With the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, you shall engrave the 2 stones, according to the names of the sons of Israel, you shall make them enclosed in settings of gold. And you shall put the 2 stones on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as stones of remembrance for the sons of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before Jehovah on his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And you shall make settings of gold. And 2 chains of pure gold, you shall make them twisted, a cordage work, and you shall put the chains of cords on the settings. And you shall make a breastplate of judgment, the work of a skillful workman, like the work of the ephod you shall make it, of gold, of blue and purple and scarlet strands, and of fine twined linen you shall make it. It shall be square and doubled, a span its length and a span its width. And you shall enclose in it enclosures of stones, 4 rows of stones, the first row shall be a row of a sardius, a topaz, and an emerald. And the second row, a carbuncle, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. And the 4th row, a chrysolite, and an onyx, and a jasper, they shall be set in gold in their enclosures. And the stones shall be according to the names of the sons of Israel, 12, according to their names, they shall be like the engravings of a signet, each according to its name, for the 12 tribes. And you shall make on the breastplate twisted chains, a cordage work of pure gold. And you shall make on the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shall put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And you shall put the 2 cords of gold in the 2 rings at the ends of the breastplate. And you shall put the 2 other ends of the 2 cords on the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod at the front of it. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and you shall put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate upon its edge, which is toward the ephod on the inside. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and shall put them on the bottom of the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod on the front of it, close to the place where it is joined, above the skillfully woven band of the ephod. And they shall bind the breastplate by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a cord of blue strands, that it may be upon the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and that the breastplate may not come loose from the ephod. So Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Israel in the breastplate of judgment on his heart when he goes into the sanctuary, for a memorial before Jehovah continually. And you shall put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be on Aaron's heart when he goes in before Jehovah, and Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel on his heart before Jehovah continually. And you shall make the robe of the ephod all of blue strands. And there shall be an opening for the head in its center, around its opening there shall be a binding edge of woven work, like the opening of a coat of mail, so that it will not be torn. And you shall make on its hem pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet strands, all around its hem, and bells of gold between them all around. A golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate, on the hem of the robe all around. And it shall be upon Aaron when he ministers, and its sound shall be heard when he goes into the sanctuary before Jehovah and when he comes out, so that he may not die. And you shall make a plate of pure gold and engrave upon it, like the engravings of a signet, holy to Jehovah. And you shall put it on a cord of blue strands, and it shall be on the turban, it shall be at the front of the turban. And it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, and Aaron shall bear the iniquity of the holy things, which the children of Israel sanctify for all their holy gifts, and it shall always be on his forehead, that they may be accepted before Jehovah. And you shall weave the tunic of fine linen, and you shall make a turban of fine linen, and you shall make a girding sash, the work of an embroiderer. And for Aaron's sons you shall make tunics, and you shall make for them girding sashes, and you shall make for them high hats, for glory, and for beauty. And you shall put them upon Aaron your brother and upon his sons with him, and you shall anoint them and fill their hands and sanctify them, that they may serve me as priests. And you shall make them linen trousers to cover their naked flesh, they shall reach from the loins even to the thighs. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they go into the tent of meeting or when they come near to the altar to minister in the sanctuary, that they may not bear iniquity and die. It shall be a perpetual statute for him and for his seed after him. Exodus chapter 29. And this is what you shall do to them to sanctify them to serve me as priests: take 1 bull of the herd and 2 rams without blemish. And unleavened bread and unleavened cakes mingled with oil and unleavened wafers anointed with oil, you shall make them of fine wheat flour. And you shall put them into 1 basket and present them in the basket with the bull and the 2 rams. And you shall bring Aaron and his sons near to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and wash them with water. And you shall take the garments and clothe Aaron with the tunic and the robe of the ephod and the breastplate, and gird him with the skillfully woven band of the ephod. And you shall place the turban on his head and put the holy crown on the turban. Then you shall take the anointing oil and pour it on his head and anoint him. And you shall bring his sons near and put tunics on them. And you shall gird them with girding sashes, Aaron and his sons, and bind high hats on them, and they shall have the priesthood by a perpetual statute. So you shall fill the hands of Aaron and his sons. And you shall present the bull before the tent of meeting, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on the head of the bull. And you shall slaughter the bull before Jehovah at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And you shall take some of the blood of the bull and put some of it on the horns of the altar with your finger, and all the rest of the blood you shall pour out at the base of the altar. And you shall take all the fat that covers the inward parts and the appendage on the liver and the 2 kidneys and the fat that is on them, and burn them on the altar. But the flesh of the bull and its skin and its dung you shall burn with fire outside the camp, it is a sin offering. And you shall also take the 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on the head of the ram. And you shall slaughter the ram, and you shall take its blood and sprinkle it on and around the altar. Then you shall cut the ram into its pieces and wash its inward parts and its legs, and put them with its pieces and its head. And you shall burn the whole ram on the altar, it is a burnt offering to Jehovah, it is a satisfying fragrance, an offering by fire to Jehovah. And you shall take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on the head of the ram. Then you shall slaughter the ram and take some of its blood and put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear and on the lobe of the right ear of his sons and on the thumb of their right hand and on the big toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the rest of the blood on and around the altar. And you shall take some of the blood that is on the altar and some of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it on Aaron and on his garments, and on his sons garments with him, and he and his garments shall be sanctified, as well as his sons and his sons' garments with him. You shall also take the fat from the ram, that is, the fat tail and the fat that covers the inward parts, and the appendage of the liver and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them, and the right thigh, for it is a ram of the filling of hands. And 1 loaf of bread and 1 cake of oiled bread and 1 wafer out of the basket of unleavened bread that is before Jehovah. And you shall put all these in the palms of Aaron and in the palms of his sons, and shall wave them as a wave offering before Jehovah. And you shall take them from their hands and burn them on the altar upon the burnt offering for a satisfying fragrance before Jehovah. It is an offering by fire to Jehovah. And you shall take the breast of Aaron's ram of the filling of hands and wave it as a wave offering before Jehovah, and it shall be your portion. And you shall sanctify the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the heave offering which was waved and which was heaved up from the ram of the filling of hands, from the one which is for Aaron and from the one which is for his sons. And it shall become a perpetual statute for Aaron and his sons to be observed by the children of Israel, for it is a heave offering, and it shall be a heave offering from the children of Israel from the sacrifices of their peace offerings, their heave offering to Jehovah. And the holy garments of Aaron shall belong to his sons after him, for them to be anointed in them and to have their hands filled in them. One of his sons who is the priest in his place shall put them on 7 days when he comes into the tent of meeting to minister in the sanctuary. And you shall take the ram of the filling of hands and boil its flesh in a holy place. And Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram and the bread that is in the basket at the entrance of the tent of meeting. So they shall eat those things by which expiation was made, to fill their hands and to sanctify them, but a stranger shall not eat them, because they are holy. And if any of the flesh of the filling of hands or any of the bread remains until the morning, then you shall burn the remainder with fire, it shall not be eaten, because it is holy. And thus you shall do to Aaron and to his sons according to all that I have commanded you, you shall fill their hands 7 days. And each day you shall offer a bull as a sin offering for expiation, and you shall cleanse the altar when you make expiation for it, and you shall anoint it to sanctify it. 7 days you shall make expiation for the altar and sanctify it, and the altar shall become most holy, whatever touches the altar shall be holy. Now this is what you shall offer on the altar, 2 lambs a year old each day continually. The 1 lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at twilight. And with the 1 lamb 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mingled with 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine for a drink offering. And the other lamb you shall offer at twilight, you shall offer it with the meal offering and its drink offering as in the morning, for a satisfying fragrance, an offering by fire to Jehovah. It shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations at the entrance of the tent of meeting before Jehovah, where I will meet with you to speak to you there. And there I will meet with the children of Israel, and it shall be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tent of meeting and the altar. Aaron also and his sons I will sanctify to serve me as priests. And I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel, and I will be their God. And they shall know that I am Jehovah their God, who brought them out of the land of Egypt, that I might dwell in the midst of them, I am Jehovah their God.